Before we jump in, just a quick reminder, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes, so it's not financial advice. All the investment examples we're going to look at use historical averages, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results, so definitely consult a licensed financial advisor before making any big retirement decisions of your own. All right, let's get into it. Today, we're unpacking the math behind what is quite possibly the absolute most important financial decision you will ever make. We're talking about the true hidden cost of delaying your retirement investments. I mean, most of us intuitively know we should be saving, right? But very few people actually understand the sheer, terrifying mathematical cost of just waiting. I'll start contributing to my 401k next year. I mean, it sounds totally harmless, right? But guys, this is officially the most expensive sentence in personal finance. And it's a sentence we hear repeated over and over again. Get this. According to the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, a staggering 46% of Americans currently have zero retirement savings. Literally zero. Nearly half the country has absolutely nothing put away. And the most common reason isn't always a lack of access to a plan. It's simply this persistent belief that there's going to be a better, quote-unquote, perfect time to start. I'll just do it next year. Well, the shocking reality of next year becomes absolutely terrifying when you string a few of them together. Just picture a 25-year-old who starts putting away just $200 a month into a 401k, getting a 7% average annual return. By age 65, they're looking at a nest egg of approximately $612,000. Now, let's imagine a 30-year-old who does the exact same thing, the exact same $200 a month, the same 7% return. They end up with roughly $427,000. That is an astonishing $185,000 less at retirement simply because they waited just 5 years to start. That massive six-figure loss, that is the true price tag of saying, I'll just start next year. The math of compounding has this quality that just genuinely shocks people when they see it laid out. Because compound interest is basically the growth of your growth. Time is absolutely your biggest asset. It's like a giant snowball rolling down a hill. If you start at age 22 with that same $200 a month, you're looking at nearly $1.3 million by 65. But if you wait until you're 35, you're suddenly looking at less than $300,000. The only variable changing here is the starting age, and yet the financial outcome is literally hundreds of thousands of dollars apart. But believe it or not, here's where the situation actually goes from bad to worse. Because delaying doesn't just cost you the compound interest on your own money. When you hold off, you are actively forfeiting free money from your employer. Based on Vanguard's data, the average promised employer match is around 4.7% of your pay. To put that into perspective, for the median full-time worker, that equals about $2,954 every single year in free compensation. So when you delay for 5 years, you aren't just losing out on your own investments, you are permanently throwing away nearly $15,000 of absolutely free money from your boss. So the really crucial point to grasp here is that a standard employer match gives you an instant 50% return on your money, and that's before the market even does a thing. Think about a standard structure, right? Say your company matches 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary. If you're earning $60,000 a year and you contribute that 6%, well, that's $3,600 from you. And boom, your employer instantly adds another $1,800. That is a guaranteed instant return on your investment that you literally cannot find anywhere else in the world. Not in stocks, definitely not in real estate, nowhere. And let's look at what that free money does over time. If you capture a $2,250 annual match and you just let it sit there and grow at that standard 7% for 30 years, that free money alone, just the employer's portion, compounds to over $227,000 by the time you retire. Seriously, if you aren't contributing enough to get your full match, you are quite literally walking past $250,000, just leaving it right there on the table. Now, I know exactly what the internal monologue is for a lot of you right now. It usually goes something a bit like this. Okay, I get it. The math is terrifying, but things are super tight right now. I'll just start when I get my next raise, or, when I finally pay off these student loans, or when I just feel a little more financially stable. And hey, it sounds perfectly reasonable. But let's break down why waiting for this so-called perfect time is actually a massive trap. The first trap we fall into is lifestyle inflation. Here is the harsh reality. When your income goes up, your spending almost always goes up right alongside it. That big raise you thought was going to free up $200 a month for your 401k, well, it usually ends up going toward a slightly nicer apartment, maybe a car upgrade, or just eating out more often. That magical moment of finally having extra cash never actually arrives because the moment is always just slightly ahead of where your current lifestyle sits.
Financial stability isn't some magical destination you arrive at one day, it's a discipline you practice.
And this whole illusion of waiting for the perfect time, it feeds directly into a second major trap, the debt trap. Now, it feels deeply responsible to say you want to clear out all your debt before investing. And don't get me wrong, paying off high-interest credit card debt is absolutely the right call. But mathematically speaking, aggressively paying down 5 to 7% student loans while simultaneously turning down a guaranteed 50% employer match on your 401k, that is a losing equation. You're actually losing money by prioritizing low-rate debt over guaranteed high-return free money. So how do we actually fix this without totally overcomplicating things? Well, here is your foolproof minimum viable 401k strategy. Step 1, capture the full employer match immediately. Consider this step 0, really. Find out exactly what your match is and contribute that exact percentage. Step 2, automate a 1% annual contribution increase. Your plan likely has an auto-escalation feature. Just turn it on. Over a decade, it drastically changes your wealth without you even noticing. Step 3, put it in a target date fund. This automatically adjusts your risk as you age so your money isn't just sitting in default cash, losing to inflation. And step 4, never, ever touch it. A hardship withdrawal costs you taxes, heavy penalties, and years of irreplaceable compound growth. Just let it ride. Now, I hear some of you, what if you're watching this explainer and you're 35, 40, or even 45 and you just feel like you are completely behind? First of all, take a deep breath. You are not alone in this. Remember, nearly half the country has zero saved. But we do have to be honest here. The math still works, but it requires way more urgency now. Because you have less time for compound interest to do all that heavy lifting for you, your contribution amount really starts to matter. For example, to match the outcome of a 25-year-old contributing $200 a month, a 40-year-old needs to put in roughly $600 a month. It's harder, yes, absolutely, but it is deeply achievable, especially since your earning power is typically much higher in your 40s. Plus, the government has actually built in some specific turbo modes for late starters. These are your tactical levers. First up, catch-up contributions. By 2026, if you're between the ages of 60 and 63, the contribution limit jumps massively to $35,750 a year. So use that turbo mode. Second, you can delay Social Security. Every single year you delay claiming it, from age 62 to 70, produces a guaranteed 8% annual increase in your monthly benefits. That's huge. And finally, lifestyle adjustments. Just working a couple of years longer than you originally planned or downsizing your home can radically fix the math of your entire retirement. All right, so here's your action plan for this week, and I mean this week, not next month. If you have a 401k at work and you aren't contributing enough to get the full match, I need you to log into your HR portal today and change it. If you don't have a 401k through your job, go open a Roth IRA online today and set up an automatic transfer for even just $50 a month. When you're first starting, the habit actually matters way more than the dollar amount. Every single month of delay has an irreplaceable compounding dollar cost. You simply cannot earn your way back to what time would have naturally done for you. Because ultimately, your starting age dictates your retirement much more than your fund choices, more than your salary, and way more than timing the market. It is all about when you start. I really want you to reflect on your own timeline for just a second here. At what exact age did you actually start contributing to your 401k? The math is just undeniable, folks. 5 years earlier means hundreds of thousands of dollars more at retirement. So start today, even if it's a small amount, even if it feels imperfect, just start. If you found this breakdown helpful, please go ahead and hit that like button, share it with a friend who really needs to hear this, and subscribe to this explainer channel so you never miss a money move. We absolutely love breaking down these crucial financial concepts with you all, but before you close this explainer, I want you to look at your calendar and ask yourself, are you going to be the person who starts today, or the one who loses $185,000 waiting for next year? Stay smart with your money, and I'll catch you next time.